So Ben Shapiro rushed to defend Elon Musk after Elon Musk went on Twitter and was a dick to Bernie Sanders because Bernie thinks the richest man in the world should probably have his taxes raised a little bit. Take a look.
And, of course, the federal government is about to dump $4 trillion more in if they get Build Back Better passed. You can see why so many Democrats are in favor of all of this. There's only one problem. It completely destroys economic innovation. It completely destroys the ability of people to invest. So great exchange, hilarious exchange between Bernie Sanders and Elon Musk on Twitter yesterday. So Bernie Sanders did his usual thing. Okay, Bernie Sanders does this thing on Twitter. He says, the world is full of unfair things that happen all the time. I like fair things and I don't like unfair things. Unfair things are bad. Bad things are bad. And then everybody they go, yay, Bernie, woo! Okay, so that is Bernie's Twitter account. So Bernie tweeted out, we must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share, period, and bring me pudding. We must demand the extremely wealthy pay their fair share. Now, we've discussed ad nauseum on this program how much the wealthy pay in the United States, and it's all net income taxes in the United States, like all of it. Okay, but there's only one problem. When you tell people they have to pay their fair share, and when Bernie Sanders says fair share, he means pretty much everything. Everybody knows. So Elon Musk tweeted out, I keep forgetting you're still alive. Woo. Yeah. Harsh stuff there from Elon Musk. Boom. Okay, and then he follows up there. He follows up on that one. And he says, would you like me to sell some more of my stock? Because this is what he did. Right, he says, want me to sell more stock, Bernie? Just say the word. He says, Bernie is a taker, not a maker. This is correct. Okay, so the Bernie Sanders economic agenda, the Democratic economic agenda, hurts the economy. It makes inflation worse. It creates economic stagnation.
That is empirically, verifiably, provably false. So go ahead and take a look at this first graphic here because this explains just how false it is. How Keynesian policy led economic growth in the New Deal era. 3 simple graphs. So in other words, the takeaway from this is when you do big spending, which is exactly what the New Deal was, setting up all these programs, many of them universal in nature, it actually expands the economy and it grows GDP and it helps the economy. It doesn't, necessarily lead to inflation or stagnation or stagflation for that matter. This idea that big spending is definitionally a negative thing, that just flies in the face of all the evidence available. And there's actually evidence that the specific economic ideology that Ben Shapiro agrees with is a disaster. And actually that leads to tremendous problems in the economy. So for example, Reaganomics. So the deregulation and the tax cuts for the rich always lead to boom-bust cycles, always lead to recessions, always lead to an explosion in the debt and the deficit, which is something he pretends to care about. Throw up this next chart here as well, because this shows you exactly how wrong he is when he talks about how, wealthy pay all the taxes. This is recently, June 8th, 2021. ProPublica investigation finds ultra-rich pay almost nothing in federal income tax. And then you can see there, so let's go through it. Warren Buffett, $24.3 billion of wealth growth. The total income he reported on that was just $125 million. The total taxes he paid was $23.7 million. So what's called his true tax rate is 0.10%. Now, look, is paying $23 million in taxes more than a construction worker who's making $80,000 a year? Well, yeah, it is. So Ben Shapiro would say, he's paying all the taxes, look. But no, as a percentage, he's actually paying way less. Jeff Bezos, $99 billion. That was his wealth growth. The total income reported was $4.22 billion. He paid $973 million in taxes. That tax rate is, what does that say there? 0.08%. Michael Bloomberg, wealth growth, $22.5 billion. Total income reported, $10 billion. Total taxes paid, $292 million. True tax rate of 1.30%. Elon Musk, $13.9 billion. Total income reported, $1.52 billion. Total taxes paid, $455 million. True tax rate of 3.27%. Now, by the way, this is before Elon learned about the what do they call that tax avoidance scheme? Buy, borrow, die. So what you do is you don't take any money out of your company, so you don't have to pay taxes on it, and you just take a loan out from the bank against your company. So you just live on the credit from the bank and you don't have to pay any taxes. And then when you die, you could pass that money off to your kids and they could pay next to no taxes on it. It's all a tax avoidance scheme. By the way, Elon Musk was in the news recently. In one day, Elon Musk made, here it is, $37 billion to make him the richest man on earth, to have a net worth of over $200 billion. And that same day or the day after, he was on Twitter opposing higher taxes on the wealthy. And Tesla had a market cap of over $1 trillion at the time. $1 trillion. And that same day, he's out there playing the victim. And wealthy people are playing the victim. And look, that gets back to what we're talking about with Ben Shapiro here. Ben Shapiro is like mocking this idea of Bernie Sanders being in favor of good things. Now, I like to make fun of corporate Democrats when they pretend like they're in favor of good things, but they're really vague and they don't give specific policies. And I mock them because, like, sometimes you almost literally get speeches. Like Tom Perez, head of the DNC, was like, you know, I'm in favor of good things and I'm against bad things, and that's so I like good things, and if you don't, then you're a bad person. And I would make fun of that because he's not specific about what he means by here's what a good thing is and here's my policy to implement it. In the case of Bernie Sanders, there's nothing to mock there because he's very specific about the solutions that he's talking about for the bad problems. And so when Bernie says, I'm in favor of good things, he'll also say a universal healthcare system, a Medicare for all, single-payer healthcare system that copies many of the other developed countries on earth that objectively have a better system than we do, according to every study that's looked into it. Okay, well now what is there to make fun of? Because now you're just giving me empirical facts and saying I want to copy the systems that work the best in the world and give everybody healthcare and save everybody money in the process. What is there to mock about that? What is there to mock about saying I think, the minimum wage should be a living wage that you can afford to survive on? Is that funny, Ben? Ha! He wants people to not starve and die and be miserable. Pussy. What are you doing, Ben? What are you doing? You see the same thing, by the way, in a lot of the Scandinavian countries. You see that there's not economic stagnation. There's, if anything, they're already back to like 3 or 4% growth in the economy. Ben Shapiro's claim is if you have big government spending, it's really bad and it leads to economic downturns. It leads to economic stagnation. And if that was true, then you would see that they would have stagnation. They would be struggling. They're not. They're growing at 3% or 4%. And these are countries that have universal health care. A lot of these countries have universal college. They have paid vacation time by law. People get a lot of time off. They have high wages. And so you want to know how that's the case? Because Ben Shapiro is wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Or he does know the facts and he's just a rank propagandist and doesn't care that he's lying about it. But either way, it's ridiculous. And allow me to say as a final point, Ben, everybody could tell that was a fake laugh. Everybody could tell that was a fake laugh. Ha ha! Elon Musk is being a dick to Bernie Sanders. So funny. He said, I didn't even know you were still alive. Even the biggest Elon fanboys know that was a little bit forced, don't you? Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.